Alright guys, on my last video I showed this cigar and I said I'm gonna go long. This thing, I thought it was an hour. I'm gonna do something that I've never done before. I'm actually gonna time how long this cigars last, because I think this thing lasts me 3 hours. 3 hours. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go extra long with this one. Look at the size difference, and this is in a glass container. Um, and it's stuck in there. Oh, here we go. This is a Bolivar, and what I do is I put a little bit of water, just a little bit of water here, and I put the cigar and I plug it with this cork plug. Let the humidity get in there, because the humidifier do their job, but they're not all that good, you know. This one I can see, I can feel, it's very soft. It really did the job. Oh, it smells great. So now I'm gonna see, what time is it? 6:15. I'm gonna be until 10 o'clock. Okay, there goes the cap. And let's light it up and see what this monster. This is the biggest cigar I'm ever gonna smoke. He wants his food. He's demanding. What do you want, Papa? What do you want? Now, for you cigar smokers, if you never had a Bolivar, I really suggest you try this cigar. This is one of the best cigars you ever gonna have. Oh man, it's incredible. It's incredible. The aroma, the taste, with some coffee. Little double shot of espresso. Very relaxing. So today, this morning, I connected the solenoid to the truck, to the new truck, and I run the wire from the alternator to the solenoid, and I connected it to the wires that go under the truck into the cab for the refrigerator. So the way it works is that when you're gonna go camping, you do not run your refrigerator on batteries when you park, because it'll kill your battery. One or two, it will kill it. It's drawing a lot of wattage. The system that I have, or the way it should be done, is, and actually the way I got it from Old Blue, was that it's connected to the alternator, to a solenoid, that is it's like a switch, and it detects a draw, so it opens up. It allows battery power or electricity from the alternator to the solenoid, from the solenoid to the refrigerator, and that's what you run it on when you're driving. So the way I do it is, let's say I'm going to go camping tomorrow, and I fill up the refrigerator with stuff. I plug it into 110 to the house and let that cool, let that refrigerator get cold throughout the day and the night. Then the next morning when I'm ready to leave, I unplug it. I switch it to 12 volts, and you start the truck and you leave, and now you're feeding electricity to the refrigerator to keep your food cold. And you drive all that trip, 5, 6, 7 hours, whatever it is maintaining that electricity. It's not killing your engine battery. The alternator is taking care of it. Then when you get to your camping area and you're all settled in and you level the whole thing, then you switch it over to gas, to propane, and now the refrigerator is working on propane for the duration. It's not going to kill your batteries, and it's not going to shut down the refrigerator because it's working on propane. The only issue that I've been having, and I found out, is that the refrigerators that work with the three, you got the 110, the 12, and the propane. If you're above 6,000 or 6,500 feet, the propane has a hard time staying on. Usually where I go hunting, it's around 8,000 to 8,500. Sometimes it's 9,000. So if I want to be in that area, I don't put anything perishable in the refrigerator because I know I'm not going to be using the refrigerator because the propane is not going to work in that altitude. That's the thing. So if you're camping below the 6,500 and the propane is working fine, you can switch it to the propane and you're good to go. One tank could last you up to 2 weeks, depending on your system. If the system is efficient, if it's not, it could last you a few days over a week. So it just depends on that. But I've one time we went to this it's like a canyon, and I had the refrigerator switched to the propane, and this wind was coming, hauling, blowing through that canyon, and it kept turning off the pilot and turning off because the grill, the vent, was facing the canyon where the wind was blowing, so it was going right in there, and I couldn't turn it around because I had a trailer, and it's going to be a hassle turning the whole thing. So I said, you know what, I switched it off, and we had a cooler with ice, and we put the perishables like the meats and stuff in there, and I just let the fruits and I remember if it was cheese or no, we don't take cheese, but anything else. But the things that really need the cold, put it in the ice cooler, and then the next day we left because it was too windy, so we couldn't stay there. So, anyways, I'm doing that system, and now tomorrow I'm going to finish up with the connecting the new set of wires that I already have a pair hanging down, coiled up under the truck. I'm going to come in and hook it to the, let's see, I'm going to do the battery, the ground, bring it in, plug it to the existing one coming from the cabin. That is connected to the lights above on the camper. When I'm driving, oh, and I have to connect another switch for that. So when I'm driving, if I want to switch on the overhead lights, then that switch is going to be for that. So I got to do that also. And I already have another set of lights in the rear with a regular plug, regular outlet, wall switch inside. So in case I hear a noise overnight, I can just get up and hit that switch, and it will illuminate the whole rear of the camper. I'm going to add 2 more lights to the side, possibly, I don't know if I should do it in the middle or in the front, so it illuminates the sides in case something is, on one side or the other. And if it's an animal or a bear, whatever, maybe they will scare away. At least I can see what it is. Last year, no, it wasn't last year. It was about 4 months ago. I did a trip up to the mountains with a friend of mine, and there was still snow up there. I think it was March, if I remember right. Yeah, March, I think it was. Anyways, I went up there, and there were some patches of snow in the area, and I did take the quad, and I was driving around looking to see if it was a good place to go hunt for the season. I think I did a video. And then, in the middle of nowhere, I find this vehicle It was a Suburban, and I said, "Oh, somebody's up here camping or something." I went to look at it, and it looked like it was abandoned. It was all beat up on the inside. It's a lot of trash and stuff. Like somebody just left the stuff and walked away. Maybe it broke down. And then I started looking at the vehicle itself, and it had damage. It had a bent antenna. It had a dent on the roof, like that, like something punched it. And it wasn't under a cliff or anything, under trees, so I don't think a pine cone is going to have that kind of dent, that deep. And I'm going, what the hell did this? And then I'm looking at the hood, and the hood looked like it got grabbed and ripped. The hinge on one side was kind of ripped out and twisted. I'm going, what the hell? So then I told my friend, this is weird. This is, you know, something grabbed this thing and just damaged it like this. So I took a picture, and I took a picture of the license plate, and I said, when I go down there, I'm going to report it because it could be stolen. So anyways, I'm walking around, and I said to this guy, I want you to spread out and look for any unusual signs or footsteps or something. So we did, and we started finding big footprints in the snow. They were kind of deformed because they were kind of old, but they were very deep, like something heavy stepped on the snow. And I'm saying, what kind of animal, what kind of thing did this, you know? And you know, I started having this weird feeling, you know. And we looked around, and we saw more. We kept finding more and more, and they were kind of like in different directions. And I said, you know, it's I can't tell if it's a bear, because you can tell when it's a bear. I found one that was a mountain lion, very fresh, a big one, big mountain lion, very fresh. But on these, I couldn't tell what they were. Could have been a big guy, a big human, or it could have been a bear, but they were deep. That's the thing that concerned me. So I told him, you know, we went back to the camp, to the truck. We had the table set up, a couple of chairs, and we were having some drinks and some chips and, you know, a little jerky and stuff. And we were planning on staying there, but it was windy, and it was kind of cold, and not too cold, but it was very, very windy, very loud. And something told me, don't stick around, don't stay there. So I told my buddy, I said, hey, you know what? Let's pack it up and let's hook up the trailer and let's camp down at the bottom. He goes, all right. So we drove down it was about 6 in the afternoon. And I said, let's go down to the local gas station. So we drove down, and there was a girl there at the register, and I said, I need to talk to the local police. Can you get them on the phone? She goes, sure. So then I'm on the truck. I'm airing up the tires because I aired it down so we can go on the rough trail. The trail was very, very rough getting up there. Very high mountain. And she comes out with the phone, and she goes, here. So I'm talking, and I said, listen, I want to report a vehicle. It looks abandoned. This is the license plate. And I seen this damage. And then I seen these weird tracks. And he says, but what kind of tracks? And I said, well, I can't guess because they're not really fresh. They're not really defined. They're a little bit deformed, but they're deep. Something heavy made them. And he goes, oh, are you talking about and he tells me the name of the place. And I said, yeah. He goes, yeah, we know about that vehicle. That vehicle belongs to somebody that built a cabin up there. It's further back in. And I said, well, I didn't see any cabin. He goes, what's up there? But he left the vehicle. And that damage is probably from an old bear that hangs around that area. And I said, a bear did that? And he goes, yeah. And I said, okay. I'm glad I left because if I would have cooked something with an aroma, let's say I made bacon or sausages or something, and the aroma it's in the cabin in the camper. Here comes this bear at night sniffing around, and I seen damage on a trailer in an Indian reservation where the guy told me, "Oh yeah, the bear went up there and tore down the the, the siding, all the panels, and tore it out. You can see the insulation, plain as day. He tore down all of it." He says that the guy had a Winchester, started shooting at him to scare him away. So I'm glad that we didn't stay there because that bear would have destroyed half the camper trying to get at any food that he probably would have smelled. You know, if I would have stayed there and cooked. I'm glad I didn't stay there. So I'm planning on going up there again because there's an old gold mine. That's one of the reasons I went. Besides a potential hunting area, um, there's a big side of a mountain, beautiful with pine, and there's a draw and there's some water. There's a stream going through, snow capped, but it was windy as hell. I'm talking 80 miles an hour. When we drove on the quad, we were like, I said, hang on and crunch down because we're gonna get blown over. You know, we were on the edge of this ridge, and woo, and the pines are doing this, and I said, no, no, no. Then when I started seeing all these signs and stuff, I said, no, no, I don't want to stay. Something's telling me get out of here. So what we did after I reported and we gassed up and we got some sodas and stuff, we went to a lookout area, and we stayed there. There's a nice view below, and we stayed there overnight. And then the next day, we drove back. So we were basically up there for one night. Uh, the guy didn't mind because he's a helper of mine. He works a lot, and he just helped me do some work on one of my properties. And he enjoyed a little vacation. He said he needed a break, go up to the mountains and stuff, and enjoy a couple of drinks and talk. And so we had a nice drive. Then we drove into town, went into this famous bakery. We bought some bread and some donuts and stuff, and then we camped that night behind a, what was it? I think it was a Pollo Loco. we camped behind there, and then the next morning we started heading down the highway. I'm planning on doing a trip like that again. Once I'm done prepping the truck, I'm not done yet, and I still got to load up the gear on the sides, and I've been doing a little bit of everything. So that's on the next project to finish up with the camper. I've taken the truck down to the park to connect the folding stairs in the back, and already bolted it in and adjust the height, the whole thing. So we're happy with that. I'm going to order a grab bar so we can install it by the door, so it's easier for us to go up and down. We already bought the sticky tape that I'm going to put there, the step tape, the kind of sandy material, so you don't slip when it's wet or cold. Because in the mountains, there's always a change of weather. Even in the morning, you're going to get some dew. And if you go out onto those chrome steps, by the way, they're shiny as hell, you can just slip and break your neck. So we're going to put 2 rows of tape per step. So we got 2 rolls. And I bought a little motor that, when you look at something on eBay or Amazon, it looks a certain size, but they don't really tell you. You look at the pictures and you try to scale it with a hand or something. Little motors like this, but it's supposed to handle torque. It's supposed to have torque. And my idea is to connect the crank star to the crank system, to pop it, weld it, or attach it to a rod, to the little shaft on the motor, connected it to the connector with it, where you put the crank, and give it power with the battery, and see if that little motor, I'm going to put a switch, it can handle raising and lowering the pop. If that's possible, that would be great. So what I would do is I would connect it, but the minute I got the motor, Jesus Christ, it's the size of this, almost the size of this lighter. That's it. It's a joke. And I'm gonna see if it has the torque. If it does, I'm gonna connect it and I'm gonna put the switch by the door. So all I have to do is pop the clips on the roof, open the door, reach down here, click it, and let's see if it goes zzz, right, and raises it. If that's possible, then I'm saving a lot of well, it's not a lot of work, a lot of hassle, but it's an additional thing that you have to go in there and So it's another little project that I have to do. I'm gonna clock this sucker. I started at 6:15. It's not even half an hour yet. So I'm gonna sit here until it's gone. Let's see what it does. So now I was thinking of, I got two different types of video. I got the hunting, camping, camper side, but I also got the boat side. And everything is under Cordell-Mar. That handle, or that site, that channel, was first started with the boat because Cordell is rope and Mar is ocean or sea. So sea rope, or I was gonna put blue rope, but it sounds like Cordell Blue, and that's a restaurant. I didn't want to get sued or you know what is it, patent infringement or some shit. So I just came up with Cordell. So blue rope. So it's about the boat. So now everybody that looks at my boat stuff is also looking at the hunting stuff, which is not exactly what they want. So I'm thinking of changing and adding a channel and switching or moving over all my boat videos to that channel. I gotta come up with another name, or keep the name and switch my hunting channel to a different name. So we have two different setups and two different, complete different topics, because sometimes I'm mixing it up. Like the other day I was talking about the boat and then I was talking about the camper. So and people that are going for the camper, they say, why is he talking about a boat? What boat? I don't know he has a boat, So that's something that I was considering on doing. That's going to be a lot of work because I got a lot of videos that I have to be transferring and doing that. Okay, so that was a good dinner. Hello.
Hi. Are you still on video?
Yeah. I'm gonna see how long this is gonna last. This sucker's long, it's big, but it's very good tasting cigar. So once I get everything wrapped up and finished with the vehicle, I also did another test. I once I cinched that down to the truck, I went down to the park, and the park has a little side area across from the park that to get to it, you gotta go and cross the street, and there's a deep canal. It's a water canal. So when it rains, and you get in there, and the truck go bang bang, like that. And I'm looking through the mirror to see if the trailer is doing this, moving or sliding. Nothing. That's a good test. It's tight. It's cinched down very good. I'm happy the way it is now, so I've got confident that I can go 80 miles down the freeway. It's not going to fly off or anything like that. So if I go into a trail, it's going to be on it. It's not going to be rattling or doing anything. So that test is done. So once it's all done, then I want to do a scouting trip in August, around the middle of August. Uh, when is the appointment for baby?
August, next, not this coming week, the following.
Is it in the middle of the month?
No, it's August 9th.
The 9th, okay. So maybe around the 15th I'll do a scouting. I'll probably go up there on the bow season and just look around because I can't pull the bow anyways. But I can go out there in the bow season and look around and kind of choose a different spot because I'm not backpacking this year. I didn't get the tag for that area. And see if I can find a good spot for the rifle and see if I get lucky this year. I also got to work on the quad, so there's always something. Okay, so I want to sit here and continue puffing on this loogie until it's gone. $18.95. I'll let you know on the next video how long this one lasted, how many hours, because this is going to be a good 3-hour cigar. I mean, compared to this one. Yeah. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Ciao. Very soft.